rattlesnakes rattle? I know. Keep watching and you'll know. Hey guys, welcome back to Venomcentral. Today we're going to do something a little different. I've been getting swamped with a bunch of questions about rattlesnakes. So today we're going to do this video, we're going to show some big rattlesnakes, some little rattlesnakes, and talk about some general facts of rattlesnakes and some commonly asked questions. I've been getting a lot of this stuff on my Instagram. I've been getting a lot of it on my YouTube question things, so we figured let's do a video about it and let's teach people about rattlesnakes. So hang in there, and today we're going to take everybody to school. Don't leave. Don't run off. Remember to subscribe to Venomcentral. Hit the little like button. Give us a thumbs up. And let's get started. Okay, our first commonly asked question is, how big do rattlesnakes get? There's an array of sizes in rattlesnakes, but rattlesnakes can come in sizes as small as 12 to 16 inches. They can be tiny. Say like this little Mexican pygmy rattlesnake here. Now I happen to have the smallest Mexican rattlesnake and the largest Mexican rattlesnake. And like this little guy right here. This is the little crowless ravis, little Mexican pygmy rattlesnake. And the name's pygmy because of its size, because it's just a little squirt. And this is a mountain species. This is a high elevation, really cold rattlesnake that actually, you kind of keep them cool to keep them happy. But they're just little guys. I mean, he may get 16 inches, if that. And like this one's probably only about, maybe 14 inches. And notice that little tiny rattle. We're going to talk about rattles too. How big do rattlesnakes get? Look at them behemoths. That's the Mexican West Coast rattlesnake. That's one of the largest rattlesnake in Mexico. I mean, they range in size from 12 to 14 inches to 6 to 7 foot. And the record, I believe, is held by an eastern diamondback, which is 8 foot. Now, we all see these internet pictures of these guys holding these monster rattlesnakes, and they're saying they're 10 foot, they're 9 foot. I mean, to see a 6 foot eastern diamondback or a 6 foot basiliscus is truly an impressive snake. And the record is 8 foot, I believe. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of them internet pictures you're seeing, they're forced perspective. They got the snake on the end of the tongs, and it's forced right out in your face to make it look much bigger than it really is. If they took that snake and set it to them side by side, you'd realize it's not a 9 foot rattlesnake. It's probably about a 5 foot rattlesnake. But to answer the question, they can come from 12 to 14 inches to 8 feet. Okay, another commonly asked question is, do rattlesnakes always rattle before they bite? Or you can tell the age of a rattlesnake by its rattle. Rattlesnakes don't have to rattle to bite you. Half the time, when you get bit by a rattlesnake, he's not rattling, and that rattle isn't there to protect us. It's a warning device that saves him. That rattle is designed, evolution designed that rattle to protect that rattlesnake, not to protect us. It's not a warning device for us to know that, okay, there's a rattlesnake there, he's letting us know he's there. No, he's letting us know he's there by buzzing, so we don't step on him and hurt him. Evolution evolved it so they don't get trampled by large hooved animals. I was snake hunting in Pennsylvania one time, and I watched a cow jump sideways. I mean, literally, all 4 legs off the ground jumped sideways because it got a little too close to a timber rattlesnake at the edge of a field. It was unbelievable. That cow just jumped sideways like MC Hammer. And I'll tell you, and we figured out what's going on. We walked up, and there was a timber rattlesnake coiled up there, and it was cool, and he was buzzing, and that cow's reaction was amazing. He heard that rattle, and his instincts told him to get the hell out of the way. So that rattle's not there to let us know he's there. It's there to let us know, if you step on me, I'm going to bite you. It's there to protect him, not us. And most bites that happen with rattlesnakes, a lot of people say, well, they can control their venom, and that's true. They can control their venom. But most bites that happen, we call them a legitimate bite. That's a true bite, an accidental bite in the field. And when you do get envenomated by a rattlesnake, it's usually A snake that's coiled up on the other side of a fallen tree or a fallen log, and somebody steps over it, and they have shorts on, or the rattlesnake, which is a pit viper, he senses heat. He picks up a heat signature from your leg or your foot if you're in sandals, and he bites you. He mistakes you for a food item. So that's a legitimate bite. And a lot of times people getting bit by rattlesnakes because they're handling them, they're messing with them, and rattlesnake roundups. Oh, I'm gonna hit on that shit too. But them bites are not legitimate bites. And a lot of times them are dry bites. That snake is just trying to defend itself. See, venom is a precious commodity to a rattlesnake. They don't want to waste it. They want to use it to subdue prey. They want to use it for them to feed, for them to catch and kill prey at them so they can eat. But they can't control it. They can give you a dry bite or they can give you a wet bite. And a wet bite is usually associated with predatory prey response. And people receiving a wet bite, they're either really abusing that snake and it's fighting for its life, or that snake just mistaken you for a food item, which they don't see us as a food item. We're huge. They see us as a threat. But stepping over something, not realizing that there's a rattlesnake there, and it bites you, pow, and it venomates you, it's a legitimate bite. He just mistaken your foot or your hand. Your hand is about the size of a rat, your foot, your leg. He got the heat signature, and he thought, that's food. Ha! He hit you. And he venomates you. So that's the difference between bite. Okay, babies are more venomous than big ones. In some circumstances, it can be a little bit true. But the truth of the matter is a baby rattlesnake or a baby venomous snake, period, they normally aren't controlling their venom. They're tiny, they're scared, they're spooked by everything. They're going to venomate everything they bite. They haven't adapted that capability to control it yet and give you a dry bite or a wet bite. So the folklore is the little ones are more venomous than the big ones. Not true. Some circumstances, some snakes, maybe. But rattlesnakes, the little ones, they're just not monitoring their amount of venom. They're just biting and they're envenomating everything they bite. So to answer that question, and the rattle. I get a lot of questions about the rattle. You can tell how old the snake is by the rattle. A rattlesnake's rattle, the size of snakes can vary. I'm going to tell you, like, look at this little bitty rattle, okay? That's a little rattle from a little pygmy rattlesnake. And that rattle, you can't even hear it. It sounds like a bee buzzing, barely. But then you put it next to something like this, and this is the rattle from a big Mexican West Coast rattlesnake. And smallest to biggest. And the age of a snake, this snake would be 20-something years old, and which they do live to be 20, but every time a snake sheds, he pops on a new segment. And what it does is it just rolls over, and it takes the old skin and pops into a new segment every time. And you wonder how I got these rattles? Rattlesnakes lose their rattles all the time. They get old, they get wore out from shaking around, they end up getting brittle, and they fall off. Because every time he sheds, he's putting on a new segment, so he's going to constantly be growing a new rattle. So, you can't tell how old a rattlesnake is by his rattle. That's not true. This is a good one. Can a rattlesnake still bite you even after its head's been cut off? Most people think that this is like, okay, this is an old wives' tale, this is an old western tale, you got to cut the head off and bury it. Absolutely true. They can still bite you once they've been decapitated. Any venomous snake can. It's a nerve thing. I'm telling you right now, you can cut a snake's head off, 20 minutes later, that snake's jaws, the nerves in its jaws, is still doing this. And if you get anywhere near it, it picks up that and just and it can still bite you and envenomate you. So that is true. If you have to cut a rattlesnake's head off, which I hope none of you ever do not pick it up. If you see a rattlesnake dead in the road, do not pick it up. And if you want to cut the rattle off and save it for a souvenir, don't pick it up. Do it with a stick. Do it the right way and cut the rattle off, but hold the snake down with a stick or something. Whatever you got to do, but don't pick it up. This is a good one. Do rattlesnakes lay eggs? Do I have to worry about rattlesnake eggs in my garage, you think? Rattlesnakes are not egg layers. If you find eggs, it's probably from a colubrid, probably from a king snake or a corn snake or something. They're ovoviparous, and that literally means that they're live bearing. They have babies that are born alive, and the reproduction of rattlesnakes. And let me tell you, I mean, rattlesnakes, they're not like big breeders. They don't breed every year and have tons of babies. Some of them have a few babies, some will have up to 20 babies, and they only breed every other year, depending on the species and where it's from. We're going to get on that too, about this rattlesnake roundup shit. I want to talk about that. But they're not egg layers, and they do not come out of an egg. So, little baby rattlesnakes come into the world with fangs, venomous, ready to go, and they're born alive. Okay, and with rattles, you know, there's, what was that question? Oh, do all rattlesnakes have rattles? Well, let me tell you something. There's 36 species of rattlesnake, and they all have rattles, but there is one species, the Catalina Island rattlesnake, that actually evolution has turned that snake and is taking the rattle away. It does have a button, and every time it sheds, it just keeps rolling off. It doesn't keep popping on a new segment like a regular rattlesnake would. So it's literally the rattleless rattlesnake. And what's happening here is that snake's been isolated away from the mainland, so it evolution evolved that snake to lose that rattle. So who knows, maybe when the continents drifted and that broke off into an island, you know, there's no large hoofed animals, there was no threat from nothing stepping on that rattlesnake. Some guys believe that they're losing the rattles to catch birds. I don't believe that. I think it's because there's no large hoofed animals on that island, and there's no threat for them there to be trampled and stepped on. And I mean, I know feral cats are a big problem out there, and they're killing them, very rare protected rattlesnakes. But there's one rattlesnake that does not have a rattle, and they don't always rattle. Trust me, they don't. I live with hundreds of them. So they don't always rattle before they bite. They just don't. If they're going to bite you, they're going to bite you. They won't warn you and let you know they're going to bite you. They're going to bite you regardless. The rattle is there to protect them, so you don't step on them and hurt them. Just letting you know, okay, I'm here, don't get too close. But, quick fact, there's one rattlesnake that does not have a rattle. Can you pull a rattlesnake's fangs and make it harmless? No, you cannot. You can pull a rattlesnake's fangs out, but a new one's going to pop right in place. They've got them lined up in there in concession with each other. They break them off all the time. They lose their fangs all the time. They shed their fangs about every 6 weeks, and they put a brand new sharp one right in place, ready for action. And here, let me show you guys a couple fangs. I pulled a few rattlesnake fangs out. And now, fangs are designed to inject venom, okay? And now these fangs are from about a 3 to 4 foot western diamondback rattlesnake, and they're hollow. I don't know if you can see that, but maybe we can see the hollow tip on the end of them. But they've got a little slit and they're hollow. They're little hypodermic needles. And now these are attached to the venom duct, which is attached to the venom gland. And when a rattlesnake bites you, he depresses his gland and squirts venom through this into your tissue. And if you pull a rattlesnake's fangs thinking that it's going to be harmless, he's going to pop a new one right in place, and he's going to bite you and envenomate you. So, no, you can't pull his fangs and make him harmless. Now, there is a surgery that is being done by some veterinarians, and I'm totally against this, and they're making these snakes, they call them venomoids. And now, a venomoid is a snake where they've detached the venom gland from the duct so he can't produce venom no more. And they figured out that, okay, it grows back. And then they took it one step further, and now they're removing the whole venom gland. So the snakes don't live as long, they don't do as well, and it's like, okay, we've got a venomoid, so we can have a pet rattlesnake. That's another question that was on here. Do rattlesnakes make good pets? No, they're not pets. They are not pets. They are a wild animal. I mean, no, a rattlesnake does not make a good pet. If you want a pet snake, get a ball python. You do not want a rattlesnake as a pet. They don't know you. They don't like you. They literally tolerate you. All the snakes that I work with, I mean, I love my snakes. This is my passion, but they're not pets. And you'll hear me doing my videos going, that's a good boy. That's me talking to myself. I mean, I know that that snake can't hear me and he's not responding to me. Trust me. That's me assuring myself he's a good boy. He done what I wanted him to do. I done it safe. I'm safe. He's safe. But no, they do not make good pets. Okay, another question that we get once in a while is, are all rattlesnakes venomous? Well, rattlesnakes are pit vipers, and of course they are all venomous. And the thing is, I was talking about venomoids and removing the venom ducts and the glands and all that thing, and I'm totally against that. I mean, I can't stand to hear about venomoids. It drives me freaking nuts. I mean, literally, the snakes don't do good. It's torture. I mean, you're taking away that snake's ability to digest food. I mean, literally, venom is designed to break things down. It's designed to dissolve tissue. It helps that snake digest its food. It not only is designed to subdue prey, to dispatch it, but it helps that snake digest. It all works synergistically together. So taking the venom glands out and making a pet out of them, it's just brutal. It's wrong. It's just freaking wrong. But anyways, yes, all rattlesnakes are venomous. Because I had somebody ask me, they said, well, I seen a snake and he didn't have that big heart-shaped head and he was rattling his tail. A lot of snakes will mimic a rattlesnake. You'll see a lot of colubrids, which your colubrids are your rat snakes, racers, corn snakes, king snakes. They're your harmless snakes. And they'll rattle their tail on the ground and beat it around real fast against leaves and stuff, and they'll make that rattle sound to make you believe that they're a dangerous snake, that they're a rattlesnake, and it's called mimicry. Just like you'll see, there are some king snakes that are tricolored and beautiful colored, just like a coral snake. It's a mimicry. So, yes, all rattlesnakes are venomous. And actually, venom is, there's an interesting article I just read about how venom in our North American rattlesnakes is evolving. And it's actually carrying more neurotoxin components in the venom. Now, venom is a cocktail made up of enzymes and proteins and things that work together to do its job. But like our timber rattlesnake, it's, the northern timber rattlesnake, the true mountain timber, which I classify timber and canebrake separate. I know that they're putting them all in one, but I say they're separate. But our southern timber rattlesnake, which is the canebrake rattlesnake, has a different type of venom. It's more neurotoxic. It's a hotter venom. It's a type A venom. But venom is evolving because rats and prey items are evolving with it. And the hemotoxins ain't working as well on them anymore. So the snakes are evolving to remedy that. Pretty interesting stuff. But rattlesnake roundups, and that's something that just drives me crazy. And I just want to hit on this. Reproduction of rattlesnakes is very slow. Females don't mature to, some of them 5 to 6 years old. Some species don't mature to 7 to 8 years old. Males mature a little earlier, but they don't have a bunch of babies at once. I mean, litters can be as small as 3 and as large as 20, but they only breed every other year. So these roundups, I don't understand why this is still going on. It drives me freaking nuts. I mean, they're going out and they're collecting all these snakes just for entertainment, just to kill them, skin them, and eat them. They got their beauty queen doing it, and I know Sweetwater is the big start of that. And and they say they're helping the population, making the public safe. That's bullshit. Literally, if you track where these hunters go over the past 20, 30 years that they've been doing this, their range keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger because they're diminishing the snake. And that snake is important to the ecosystem. I mean, rodents and rats carry so much nasty stuff. I mean, bubonic plague was spread by rats. I mean, rats are the #1 carrier of transmitted diseases to humans. I mean, come on. Let's get this shit right. I mean, let's stop these fucking roundups and do something about it. I mean, it's not only just brutal, it's just they're killing the ecosystem. These guys ain't doing this for the damn community, to make the community safe. They're doing it because they're getting paid. They're making money. That's the bottom line. It's about money. For that town, for that, it's nothing about conservation. I mean, a lot of states, snakes are protected, and I love hearing that. I mean, even if it's something as common as a western diamondback. And here's the thing. They're out gassing holes and doing stuff, and they're killing a lot of other species that use them holes. I mean, they're diminishing a lot of stuff, not just the rattlesnakes. They're diminishing a lot of other species. And there's a lot of other species of rattlesnake where them western diamondback rattlesnakes, the Crow's atrox, resides. So they're not only collecting atrox, they're collecting molasses. They're collecting several different other kind of rattlesnakes that get thrown in the fucking mix. Well, it drives me crazy. Get me started on that. But we need rattlesnakes. They are an important part of the ecosystem, not only because they keep rodent populations and vermin in check, they're also a food source for our birds of prey. We have things that need rattlesnakes to feed. I mean, owls, hawks, there's different animals that they fit into the ecosystem, to the chain of things. And once we keep doing these roundups and we keep killing rattlesnakes and that stuff keeps going on, we're messing with the whole ecosystem. We're destroying our own planet. That's just, humans are the absolute #1 predator in the world. We're destroying our own ecosystem. Mother Earth is getting a bit pissed off, and that's that. So, anyways, we're going to move on and get me off the rattlesnake roundup subject, because that just chaps my ass, and excuse my language, but I hope you liked this episode today. I hope that people that aren't snake people, just everybody that's got questions and literally wants to learn about rattlesnakes, learn something today. And remember, let's protect our natural world. Let's not kill it. If you see a rattlesnake, don't kill it. Appreciate it for what it is. Film it from a distance. Enjoy it. It's a beautiful creature. And we're going to sign out with this beautiful little Mexican blacktail rattlesnake. That's a Crowless nigricensis, Crowless molasses nigricensis. And let's protect these things. It's a cool creature. I'd like to see everybody learn a little more about rattlesnakes. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And come on back. We're going to do some more of these videos. We're having fun doing this. Willie, Venomcentral, checking out. Later.